Is the WNBA about to open up an investigation on this? I mean, currently they say they're investigating Indiana Fever fans for quote-unquote racist noises, slurs, all of these supposed things that nobody can seem to prove.
Millions of fans are outraged after a viral video allegedly showed Brittney Griner making a shocking comment about Caitlin Clark. But what if we told you the story everyone's talking about may not be what it seems? Let's break down the fiery reactions, dig into what's real versus rumor, and uncover the uncomfortable truths hiding behind this controversy. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
All the while, we sit back and watch Caitlin Clark fall victim to different things all the time. We're talking about Brittney Griner. That's right. Brittney Griner, yes indeed. Of course, Joe Biden traded the merchant of death, traded the Michael Jordan of weapons dealers for a women's basketball player. I don't give a shit. It had been a men's basketball player. Traded one of the most dangerous individuals on the planet to get Brittney Griner back. I mean, Brittney Griner did check all the appropriate political boxes for Joe Biden. I call it the Brittney Griner trifecta. Woman, black, lesbian. Holy hellfire.
The video starts with Brittney Griner walking off the court, wearing an expression that had fans guessing and speculating. In the background, you can see fans yelling something inaudible while Griner seems to turn her head toward them, eventually saying something, though her back partially blocks the view. Within hours of hitting social media, the clip exploded, and almost every major platform had threads claiming she made a racially charged comment about Caitlin Clark, prompting accusations that Griner had a grudge against white players. People analyzed the video frame by frame, some swearing they could see specific words forming on her lips, while others dismissed it entirely as another overreaction. Here's the thing, there isn't even a clear audio recording of what she said, or if she said anything worth mentioning to begin with. That hasn't stopped people from running with their interpretations though. The chaos took on a life of its own, with sports bloggers posting think pieces and fans quickly dividing into opposing camps, all based on what they thought they saw. But how reliable is what we're seeing here, really? Can lip reading from a blurry 10-second clip under those circumstances actually tell us the truth? Let's take a closer look. You might remember some past controversies where lip reading spiraled out of control. For example, who could forget that infamous Super Bowl incident when people thought Tom Brady cursed out a coach on live TV? It turned out to be completely innocent, but the uproar created chaos for days. Or think back to courtrooms, where cameras zoom in on defendants, trying to decipher every whisper or glance, often getting it completely wrong. These situations teach us something important. Visual cues can be powerful, but they're not always accurate. The Brittney Griner clip could be just another example in a long line of how our assumptions get in the way of the truth. In fact, studies show that even experienced lip readers have a high margin of error, especially in high-pressure environments. A 2018 study by researchers at the University of California examined the accuracy of silent speech interpretation, finding that even professionals struggled above a 50% accuracy rate in uncontrolled situations. Sports environments with non-stop movement, distractions, and noise levels at an all-time high add even more chaos to the mix. Think about it. If trained experts can misinterpret what they see, what's stopping an average fan armed with a keyboard from doing the same thing? But the reaction to this video goes beyond just Brittney Griner's alleged words. What people are really debating here are the bigger frustrations bubbling under the surface. Social media users framed this moment as a clash of allegiances. Was this about a supposed rivalry between fans of a black WNBA star and a white college basketball sensation? Or was it simply about a league struggling to handle the rise in media scrutiny? Either way, the internet's instant judgment says more about the audience watching than it does about what Griner may or may not have said. People weren't just lip reading, they were projecting their own ideas about race, athletes, and the kinds of players the WNBA should uplift. And let's be real, it's not the first time the WNBA has found itself dealing with this kind of scrutiny. From its earliest days, the league has tried to carve out its space in a crowded sports landscape, often facing criticism from fans who expected it to play by a different set of rules. This latest controversy simply adds more to the pile, forcing the WNBA to navigate new challenges as it grows. The strange part? What Brittney Griner actually said in that moment might not even be the most important part of the story. Instead, the viral uproar reflects the fraught space where race meets sports culture. Suddenly, a short clip became a lightning rod for tension surrounding the league, its players, and its fan base. It's less about whether certain words were spoken and more about why so many people felt the need to assign meaning to it, and what that says about the lines we draw between players, fans, and the game itself. So yes, while the video may seem to offer an answer, it's more complicated than that. If anything, it underscores how polarized conversations about athletes have become, especially when issues of race are involved. And the WNBA, which already struggles for public validation, keeps finding itself in the middle of these cultural lightning storms. At the end of the day, the clip doesn't necessarily reveal the truth about Brittney, but it shines a spotlight on how much pressure this league and the faces representing it are under. This leads to a bigger question: is the uproar really about something Brittney Griner said in the heat of a game, or has the WNBA's growth exposed deeper fractures within its rapidly growing fan base? Maybe it's not her verbal response that matters most, but the environment she's operating in. To understand that though, we need to zoom out and look at what she has been vocal about in the past, and how things have changed in the league recently. Griner's alleged comment isn't the first time race has been at the center of a WNBA controversy, but this situation reveals a new layer. Brittney Griner has always been vocal about the racial harassment she's faced, not just on the court, but in nearly every aspect of her career. Back in September 2024, she spoke out about a disturbing trend with new fans entering the league, saying some had brought racial slurs into the stands. She made it clear that players competing against one another didn't justify the level of hatred thrown at them. While we're opponents on the court, we're also friends, we're human, and this kind of behavior has no place here, she said, trying to highlight the difference between passionate fandom and outright bigotry. And yet, Griner acknowledged the positives of this new wave of attention. She welcomed the fans who respected the game and contributed to the league's growth, understanding the fine line the WNBA is trying to walk. After all, Caitlin Clark's breakout performance and massive college following didn't just create buzz, it brought unprecedented eyes to the league. Ticket sales saw a spike, media outlets gave the WNBA deeper coverage, and new rivalries brought the type of excitement usually reserved for the NBA. But as Griner's comments suggest, this success comes with complications. Not all of these new fans understand the WNBA's culture, and some brought biases or attitudes that sparked tension. Think of it like the NBA during its Magic Johnson and Larry Bird era. The rivalry between the two players helped propel the league into the mainstream, but it also magnified existing racial divides among fans. Magic, representing a predominantly black Lakers team, and Bird, with his Boston Celtics often seen as a blue-collar white team, became symbols for unspoken cultural divides. The NBA had to navigate the tricky balance of embracing its explosive growth while addressing the uncomfortable realities that came with it. Fast forward to now, and you see similar dynamics with the WNBA. Caitlin Clark has been positioned by the media as a kind of basketball prodigy, a relatable figure for fans outside the league's typical demographic. Combine that with her sharp trash talk and confidence, and you get a lightning rod for new passionate fans. Some positive, some not. Other sports leagues have faced this too. Take soccer in the United States. After major World Cups boosted its popularity, new fans flooded in, but many didn't grasp the subtleties of the sport or its deep cultural history abroad, leading to clashes between longtime followers and recent converts. The WNBA is now dealing with a similar influx, one that's causing growing pains as it tries to blend its core audience with an entirely new group getting involved. And while the league celebrates its rising popularity, it's also seeing firsthand how exposure invites public scrutiny and, unfortunately, hateful behavior. The numbers back up just how seismic this fanbase shift has been. Between 2022 and 2023, viewership for the WNBA Finals jumped by 18%, and ticket sales for regular season games hit record highs. Younger viewers, drawn in largely by social media stars and viral moments like Caitlin Clark's college tournament performances, now represent one of the fastest growing segments of the league's audience. But growth alone doesn't guarantee harmony. Experts have warned that rapid change in any league can widen the gap between expectations and reality, creating friction not just among fans, but for the players themselves. The WNBA has publicly condemned racism and harassment, releasing a statement promising increased security measures and better monitoring of online threats. They emphasize that the league has zero tolerance for behavior targeting players or teams in hateful ways. But ask someone like Brittney Griner if that's enough. She's been clear that while the league's words are important, actions carry more weight. In one instance, she advocated for quicker responses, removing offensive social media comments immediately after they surface, and ensuring that hateful speech doesn't linger long enough to escalate. Her frustrations grow out of feeling that too often, the league lets these moments spiral before stepping in. It's easy to see why players like Griner feel that way. The surge of attention Caitlin Clark has brought may boost revenue and headlines, but it's also brought harassment to new heights. The contrast is sharp. On one hand, public statements condemning abuse. On the other, players still enduring disturbing behavior from fans in arenas or online. It creates a disconnect, one that forces players to wonder where the league's priorities truly lie. And that's what sits at the heart of this controversy. It's not just about something Brittney Griner may or may not have said. The uproar surrounding it only reveals how unprepared the WNBA seems to be for dealing with the complexities of its growth. How does a league embrace newfound popularity without alienating its core culture or leaving its players feeling vulnerable? That's the tougher question the WNBA must address, one that doesn't get solved with a single statement or security measure. Right now, the league is making moves, but players like Griner clearly feel those efforts aren't enough or fast enough. The growth of the league is exciting, but it's also raising stakes in ways the WNBA has to be ready for, or the good parts of this surge could quickly get overshadowed. And that brings us to the real question. Is the WNBA truly prepared to back up its players, not just with words, but with meaningful action when it matters most? The clip of Brittney Griner may seem small, but it exposes bigger cracks about race, fandom, and how the WNBA handles growth. The league is gaining attention like never before, yet that spotlight has also highlighted its struggles to protect players from harassment and educate its rapidly expanding audience. Griner's experience serves as a reminder: success isn't just measured in ticket sales or viewership, but in how well the league stands by its athletes. The real question now is simple: does the WNBA have what it takes to balance its rising platform with the responsibility of fostering respect? What's your take?